Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Dark Anime Robin, and you're looking at 6 Constructicons action figure released to the Transformers Studio series based on the Transformers, the movie released in the year 1986. They are the 6 Constructicons from the Transformers G1 era, and in this video I'll be combining them and reviewing their combiner form, the Devastator. And let me first introduce the characters of these figures and their action figure class real quick. The two characters on either end here is Grabber, a Voyager class figure, and this is Mixmaster, another Voyager class figure. This guy here is Bonecrusher, a deluxe figure, and this guy here is Scavenger, a deluxe class figure. And the two in the middle here, the one on the left is Hook, and the other guy on the right is Longho. They were released as a set, and they were classified as Commander class, but as you can see, their size is about the same as a Voyager class figure. These Constructicons were the very first group of Transformer in the history of Transformer franchise to be able to combine into a larger robot. And unlike the later group of combiners who are typically made up of 5 members, with one larger member turning into the main body or torso of their combiner form, while the other 4 become the arms and legs. We have 6 members here for Constructicons, and 2 of them combine into the head and the main torso of their combined form. So that's why Hook and Longho are released in a Commander class set. Before we start transforming and combining them, I want to go over some parts of the combining manual which comes with Hook and Longho real quick. And since these steps are really long, I'm just gonna show everyone which part of Devastator that each of the Constructicons are turning into. So we start with Hook here, and apparently the instruction manual is showing us it's easier to put them together if you first transform them into their vehicle mode. And looks like here Hook is gonna turn into Devastator's head and top of his chest and parts of his shoulder here. And then Longho is gonna turn into like part of his torso. It's like his basically his abs, and there's extra parts that it's technically like effect parts that also come with Longho and Hook set. That's like a truck part of the Longho, and it's gonna turn into like the hip and the thigh of Devastator here, and we put them together, they become like pretty much like most of Devastator's main body, head and thigh. And then the Voyager class figure Scrabber and Mixmaster, they're supposed to turn into, like, we have this chart here. They turn to the legs of, yeah, here, Scrab, and they misspell Scrabber here. They put Scavenger down there. That is, but it's supposed to be Scrabber. They turn into the legs, and the deluxe class, Bonecrusher, and the Scavenger, they are gonna turn into the arms of Devastator. And again, they have Scavenger and Scrapper mixed up. This guy, this part here is supposed to be Scavenger and Bonecrusher here. And so after all the parts, each member are done transforming, we just have to use some other effect parts that's also from the hook and long hold set, and then we put all of them together, and Devastator will be completed. So the first thing I'll do now is turn them all into their vehicle mode, and there we have all 6 Constructicons in their vehicle modes. And before we go further, I would like to make a quick comparison between these figures and this set here. This is the re-released or retro remake of the Constructicon action figure set from the 1980s. And this set was released, or rather re-released, by Walmart a couple years prior to the making of this video. By just quickly checking them out, even still in the package, we can get a sense how far these action figure design have come between the last like 30 years. And we can kind of see the difference just by checking out these pictures here. And let me just hold up, let's say this, we have the Studio Series Scrapper here, and Scrapper is on the top left corner here. So it's like back then, the vehicle mode of this set back in the 80s, they were made more like some of the Hot Wheels vehicle. And they even have the accurate picture of what the Devastator would look like once you combine them. And you can see how pretty much how immobile it would have been, maybe just minimal movement of the legs and arms, but inaccurate design of the head. And here the Devastator has like 2 eyes, but back from the G1 animation, as well as the Devastator appearance based on the movie that this set is created from, they should have, well, there should be like a big giant cyclops. And now let's begin transforming them so we can put them together to form Devastator. We'll also need this effect part set. It's like a trailer for long haul here. This, as you saw from the instruction manual, will become like the hip and the side of Devastator, and its part will also become the arms, the hands, as well as like the chest armor of the Devastator. And now we should begin by transforming this effect part as well as hook and long hole and combine them into the head and main torso of Devastator. And one thing I should point out to everyone is that one thing you might want to be very careful about is that, as you see, each of the Constructicons got their little small blasters and they're all a little different. If you don't want to mix up which one belongs to who, you want to take a special measure to make sure you don't get them mixed up, and you can put it back to the right Constructicon later. And that's actually one of the first thing I'm gonna do here. I'll start detaching the blaster here. And now we start transforming Hook to the head of Devastator. And we start by leveling this part here. It's gonna be pushed a little to this side. And now we lower down the hands of Hook. And now we have to pull up this, which is gonna become the head. And now here's the tricky part. We have to start twisting the whole parts so they can become like the chest. When you pull down the head here, it has to clink onto the whole green part here, and now you pull the whole face up and close it back up. And here we have the head and the face of Devastator. Crane goes down here, goes up. We have to close the hands of Hook. This comes down. And over here, we pull this up. Open this panel. And also take this part out, which obviously these are gonna be the attachment joint for the arms of Devastator. Now here we have the top chest and the head of Devastator completed here. Now for long hole to transform into the abdominal or the ab section of Devastator. First we have to pull out this back section, and then the transformation of the long hole's arms. This is the trickiest part of these transformation here. You actually have to bend this backward now and rotate it to this way, and see this little opening back here. You have to clank on here and do it to the other arm as well. My clumsiness, you're not supposed to do anything here. Just keep this closed. Now to pull this panel back and put it down to clank onto this part, and then press down, clink it in. Now you push this all the way down like that, and then put it in this way, and now we have to pull up the panels here to clinking on there. So now this is kind of stabilized. One thing still have to make sure you got right for the arms here. See this little opening here and this little hinge on the black section. You have to just clink on there. Do the same thing to this one. So now everything is stabilized, and long hose transformation for the combination is complete. This is long hose trailer with all its accessories removed. As mentioned, this is an effect part that will turn into the lower abs and the thigh of the Devastator. So here we have to first open up this whole long panel here, and then lift up these two armor pieces so the whole thigh can be lowered down. And this is like kind of a little tricky part here. You have to fold these in some places like that and press it down. So and finally open up these two to be obviously to become a big connector parts. And now we have to put these parts together to form Devastator's main body and head. First, the transform parts of hook and long haul, and you just have to make sure you know where all the connectors are and fit them together. Can be slightly tricky at first, but once you got all the right parts together, it's pretty stable. Here, there we go. Here's the Devastator's main body. And now we have to transform Scrapper and Mixmaster to the legs of Devastator, then Bonecrusher and Scavenger to the arms. And now the transformation of Scrapper to the right leg of Devastator begins. Now, the first part would be we have to flip out this hinge here. It has to clink inside here and lift up this bucket. And now we turn down the arms of Scrabber's robot mode, and then to turn them into like perpendicular down here, and actually my mistake, the other way here, and then click them tight. Now this part is going to be the trickiest part of the transformation, the change of the arms. Also have to football, the hands of the Scrabber for stability here. This side has turned like whole 360 degree, or just 180 degree. I apologize. And then click on to here like this. So here we have the right leg of Devastator. Next, we transform Mixmaster here to Devastator's left leg. So the first thing to do is to lift up this front section like a panel, and then click it on top here, and then these panels on the back, have to lift them down and pull down these panels and lift these back up so they become like the heel of Devastator's left foot. And this hand of Mixmaster here, they have to be released from this part, so Devastator's ankle here can be articulated. And here's Devastator's left leg and foot. We have Bonecrusher here. He's gonna become the left arm of Devastator. So we have to open up these wheels here. Take this part out and open up this panel inside. Bend this side inward and then clink this in there. And this is kind of a little bit tricky because if you cannot see where to clink into, so just have to here, and then this gets turned over like this, and we have Devastator's left arm here. And now, last but not least, Scavenger here will turn into the right arm of Devastator. So now we'll start by pushing this whole arm and bucket backwards. And then split up the wheels parts. This whole thing is down on the side. It's gonna come out like this, and they go back in. But first, we have to take out this panel, just like we did with Bonecrusher, and this side gets turned. And this gets clinked together like this, and turn this outward 90 degree. And now we have the right arm of Devastator. Here we have Devastator's arms, legs, and main body, as well as the effect parts that require to complete it, all transform and ready to combine. And so now let's put them together. The first step we'll take for this combination will be attaching the legs on. To attach the left leg, we'll have to first open up the cement mixer of Mixmaster here. And now we're sliding it on. And close this back up. And the right leg's a little trickier because we have to open this part up. And then we slide them on here. kind of clink it tight. There we go. So and now we'll attach the arms. We have Devastator's left hand here. See this hole and the hinge inside. Attach it on like this. Then we turn the hand. And now we just have to attach the arm. But before we did that, let's just complete this arm as well. So we have to slide the arm on. This. And the other arm as well. There we go. The arm had to be slide down a little more to be in the right position. And finally, we have to attach on the chest armor piece here to complete Devastator. There's quite a few places it has to cling on to, like on the ab section here, and most importantly, these openings on either side of the arms. And the main hinge on the chest here. It can be kind of tricky, but once you get all the right places done, you'll hook up very nicely. There we go. Here we have Devastator completed. As you can see here, we have a real giant here. And here we have the size comparison of Devastator to Megatron and Optimus Prime from the same Studio Series line. And technically, this is not the right scale because in the G1 cartoon, Devastator becomes like such super giant that the Optimus and Megatron would appear even kind of a little smaller to Devastator here. But well, let's all face it, the cartoon was a little ridiculous. That Devastator couldn't have become that big with the Constructicons combination, but still, this is enough to make Devastator the imposing giant he is supposed to be toward other Autobots and Decepticons. And now let's explore the articulation of Devastator here real quick. its arm can lift to the sides 90 degrees very easily, and its head allows it to look left and right, but unfortunately cannot look up or down. And this articulated leg movement here. Its knee can bend here, and the side can turn inward and outward. And there's also anchor joint here, and little up and down movement here. And its hand can twist and turn and can kind of open up here. So with all those movements, its upper body can put on like fighting stance like this, and of course this you can always make a punching move with the fist here. So effectively, this giant combiner figure here has all the modern articulation of the most transformer figure nowadays. With those articulation, it can be set up for many kind of poses for display, like all those transformer figures can. However, it can be tricky with this combiner's really heavy weight. It makes posing it kind of very tricky, a little more obviously more difficult to work with than the regular transformer figures. Like this, here's Devastator trying to reach down to grab something or someone. Or like this, where it looks like he's like tripping, falling down, or stepping on someone. And here we have the blasters from Scrabber's set, which can be put together to form Devastator's weapon or blaster here. And can just be put on Devastator's hand. And with it, can also put on a lot of gunfighting or aiming poses with Devastator here. Can be just normal gunfighting pose, like him pointing at something, him pointing his blaster downward, again showing the superiority of his size. According to the instruction manual, there's one more thing you can do with Devastator here, that basically you can carry all of the Constructicons blaster over its body with its left feet, left arm, right shoulder, and some on the back. But for the purpose of this review, I will skip that feature because it doesn't seem to serve any actual purpose for display here. It's just it won't make Devastator look imposing, and it'll just simply function as weapon carriage. This covers all the basic features of this Devastator figure. Overall, this giant combiner figure looks really great, like all the Transformers Studio series figure. it has strong screen accuracy for its appearance. It's as if the Devastator from the G1 cartoon or the animated movies really brought to life. And with modern articulation, enable it to be able to put on great poses and displays to recreate scenes from the G1 cartoon or movie, unlike the original G1 toy design, which can barely resemble anything like Devastator from the cartoon. But it's not without some challenges and problems you would have to deal with. As mentioned, its heavy weight can make posing it kind of tricky, and unlike its individual Constructicon components, the Devastator here does not have like strong or big heels to work with, so its backward structure design it's not very strong. It can be easily fall into back because there's a lot of weight that's concentrated on its back, and without large heels to support its stance, it can very easily fall backwards, and therefore it can't really pose any kind of posture with its back laid backwards. Otherwise, again, it'll just fall unless you get some kind of support display stand to hold it in place. And besides this problem, if you are a G1 Transformer fan and if you like combiners, especially the Constructicons combined form Devastator here, I would highly recommend you consider collecting this set, and it's a really nice figure to work with, and a lot of challenges maybe, but still it can be worth the trouble if you like Devastator here. This concludes my review for the Devastator combination from the Constructicon set here. If you are interested in the individual review of these Constructicon figures, please look into the description box below for their links. And thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel, and please check out other videos in my channel. If you have any question, please leave them in the comment section. I will answer with the best of my knowledge and ability.